Hey everyone, it's Megan. I'm Stitching Moon here on my cross stitch channel, and I have a chart parade for you guys today. I've been doing a ton of parades lately. I did a whip parade, kit parade. Now finally we're on my PDF chart parade. So this is not my paper charts, which I have a few, but not nearly as many as my PDF charts. I have several lifetimes worth of PDF paper charts, not paper charts, sorry, PDF charts. And I printed them all and realized it's kind of a problem. I have all of these to go through today, so it's probably going to be a long video. Get yourself something to stitch on, something to drink, and yeah, enjoy. But I did want to say, so I have mostly HAEDs, Heaven and Earth Designs, and I also have some other full coverages from other companies. And then I also have Etsy patterns, and I actually have some that I haven't printed off because they didn't have a cover page. So I only printed off the ones that actually had a cover page with them, so I don't show you the pattern. But I do have some others. But I don't know. If I stitch them, I will be showing you those. But for now, I think we have enough to go through. And the reason why I have so many charts is because back in January, I did kind of a New Year's, not really resolution, but it started even a little before January, but I wanted to change some habits. Some were eating habits, to have better eating habits, and one was like a cleaning schedule. I wanted to get better at like a cleaning routine. So to help me do that, I set up a reward system. So I think it was each week that I completed something, I got a skein of floss, and each month that I completed something, you know, not perfectly, I could have a few days off or whatever, but then I would get a pattern, a digital pattern. So it worked better than I had planned on, which is good. But now I have a ton of charts. And I'm not doing that now because in the summer I had a lot of vacations and things. I kind of got out of the habits and routines, as you do. But I do want to mention, kind of along those lines, and this will be quick, I promise, then I'll get into the chart parade. But along with that idea of kind of changing your habits and using cross stitch as a reward, Alara has made a Facebook group that is based on that. So I'm one of the moderators. Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher is another moderator, and then Alara's friend Kristen. And we just started it. It's brand new, and we have some people joining, and it's mainly for those who want to lose weight. Everyone is free to join, so go ahead and it's called One Skein at a Time. So I think I can link that below if you're interested. There are some questions that you want to answer, so make sure you answer those to get, you know, approved in. But yeah, so it's also for, even if you don't want to lose weight, you can have other types of goals that are health related, like fitness or just eating better in general, or any health habits that you want to work on. And it's not for like giving advice, it's more just a support group where you can talk with people, encourage each other, and post what your stitchy goals are. So yeah, check that out for sure if you want to improve your health in any way. All right, now I'm going to get right into it because we got a lot to go. I'm going to do my Heaven and Earth designs first, then my other full coverage, and then some Etsy things. So these actually are in alphabetical order. So let's get going. The first one is called Adolescence. And okay, I'm sorry of pronouncing again some of the artists' names, but this one is artwork by Marta Dali, I think. So this one was one of the ones I rewarded myself with. And how I did that was, I have obviously a big giant wish list on Heaven and Earth Designs. And when I got a reward, I would randomly pick a design using like a number generator. So that's kind of how I picked because I couldn't decide. But this one I really liked the colors, and I like how if you look at it, it's darker over here, and then coming from her chest to her heart is like butterflies, and it gets lighter. And it's, you know, I think it's called adolescence. I don't know, it reminds me of, you know, you have struggles and it can be really tough, sometimes dark during that phase. But as you grow and you learn and connect with yourself, it kind of expands and you can transform that into something beautiful. So that is why I was drawn to that pattern. This one is the regular size. It's 90 colors, 449 by 543 stitches. I'll try and remember to say that for most of my projects, but sorry if I don't. I'm not going to list these all down below because I think I would probably even run out of space and they wouldn't let me because there's too many. But if you are interested in something, that was also what I should have said. Go get pen and paper, take notes, just in case you are interested in something. It'll be easier to find that way. The next one is called Aphrodite. Artwork is by Sue Klein. This one I liked because of all that's like kind of contained within her. She's, you know, Aphrodite, the goddess. And it has like I really like that ship ocean scene down there. And just all the colors and details. And this one is 89 colors, 500 by 755 stitches. So that is pretty big. And lots of background. So I mean, you could probably do a hand-dyed fabric instead of stitching all that background. And I think that's the moon down there in the corner. Yep. Okay, next one is a mini Bitter Half. I know the minis are kind of smaller, so I hope you can see them okay. And the artwork is by John Shannon. And it has, yeah, I can't read it backwards on the camera, so it's got 87 colors. Wow, 87 in that. 227 stitches by 325. Still hefty for a mini. But this one I actually got, well, we're gonna get kind of heavy already. So if you have been with me and have seen my video when I talked about Stitch Mania, I talked about how I was recently diagnosed with type 2 bipolar, and you don't go into full mania, you go into hypomania, basically a lower state of that. And you can also have depression, anxiety. So this, I've always kind of liked it, but then when I was finally actually diagnosed, I bought this because I feel like it shows really well the two halves. And I mean, anyone can probably relate to this with, you have two parts of yourself. That duality kind of is in everybody, and it can be really frustrating, but I think it's also what makes us whole. So yeah. And if you also watch my videos, you know I have a lot of projects right now with trees, so I don't know when I'll stitch this because I'm kind of tired of trees right now. Okay. This one is called Bubble Flower, and it is Josephine Wall. I have a lot of Josephine Wall, and I didn't realize that until I went through my wish list and then pulled out all these, but I haven't actually stitched one yet. But this one drew me to this. What drew me to this one was the bubbles and how there's different kind of scenes. It's like each one is its own little project inside the bubbles. And when I was younger, when I was little, my mom would tell me a story about a bubble fairy and this magical world, and she told it over and over because I loved it. So things with bubbles just remind me of that. Bubbles and fantasy. But yeah, you can see there's like a flying ship. What else do we have? I think that's either like a Pegasus or a unicorn. Some other magical creatures. So, and then the colors are very nice. This one is 450 by 360 stitches. And where's the colors? Oh, it doesn't even say how many colors. So I think a lot of the Josephine Wall ones are older, so I'm not sure. Oh, and another one. Because I had two or a few on my wish list, and I happened to randomly pick both of them. But this is another Josephine Wall that has bubbles, and it's called Bubble World. I'm not going to stitch both of them. I'll have to pick and decide which one I like better. But this one is 625 by 495 stitches and 87 colors. And this one, I like this one a lot. It has, I think, more scenes, so I might actually do this one, but This one's cool. It's got like bubbles inside of bubbles, scenes inside of scenes. And I really like this one of the little girl walking a gardening path. Castle. Yeah, I think this would probably be the one that I choose to stitch. And I have a sister, so it could be, you know, those two girls could be me and my sister. Okay, next one is called Camellia, I think is how you say it. And again, this one isn't a typical one, but I just liked how her dress looked, like all the texture in her dress. Artwork is by Helene Belland. Not a very colorful one, so I don't think it would be very fun to stitch, but I think it would turn out amazing. 550 by 550 stitches and 88 colors. She's very pretty. Okay, next one is, we're still on C, Candlelight and Moonlight by Jane Worcester Scott. And I like the moon, obviously, and it's just a cozy winter scene. Let's see, and it's got like a chocolate store in there, a lot of details in the actual shops itself. It's 525 by 424 stitches and 90 colors. But again, you'd have to start with the trees. I'll be stitching on trees forever. This one is called Christmas by, oh, right there, Little Fairy Art. It doesn't have a name, just I guess a company. And at first I wasn't really drawn to this one, but when I looked at it closer, I saw more details that I really love. Like fairies. I didn't realize there were fairies. I thought there were just lights before, but like there's fairies all around the Christmas tree and the little girl sleeping there, the fire and the fireplace. Oh yeah, fairy little by the cookies. And I like how the window scene outside looks. And I don't have many things with red, so that would be different, something different to stitch. This is 450 by 360 stitches and 86 colors. So yeah, but then I saw a new pattern that was just released, also Christmassy, which I like better, I think. So I would probably stitch this first, which means I might never get to that other one, but it's new. We might have seen it. It's called Christmas Lodge by Dominic Davison. They just released this one. So when they had the recent Labor Day sale, which by the way, I'm filming on Labor Day, and for those of you in the US holiday. But I saw it and I was just like, oh, something about the colors, the like scene outside mixed with the cozy inside. It's like the dark, cold, pretty winter mixed with that cozy inner scene was just so nice. And I love the details of the slippers here on the floor and the cups of cocoa on the table, and there's like a little owl on the table, and just the details in like the pillows and the Christmas tree, the stockings hanging up, and then also you see like there's pictures, a lot of pictures on the wall with different scenes in them, and the moon outside, and that the mountains and stuff could be Norway. But the only thing I don't like about this pattern is the deer head hanging on the wall, because I mean I'm not like a big fan of dead animals on the wall. But with everything else in it, I think I could get around it. So it's big. It is 750 by 535 stitches and 89 colors. So that would take me a long time. But my husband loves Christmas. All of December. He gets so excited when December arrives, because here in Norway, like they kind of celebrate, or it's kind of Christmas the entire month. So that's his favorite month. And like he has things like the slippers and the cocoa. So I might start this sometime soon, because it would take forever. And I think, yeah, it just reminds me of like our family Christmas now, I guess. Okay, next one, another seasonal one. I don't know how to pronounce it. Citruil, I don't know. I don't know. But artwork is by Melanie Dillon or Dillon. And I really like this scene, but I don't know. I don't think I would actually stitch it necessarily just because there's so much dark colors in it, so much background. So I really like it, but to stitch, I just don't know. But it does have that giant moon in it. But it is, oh, it's huge too. It's 525 by 802 stitches. I think they have a mini. I don't know why I didn't get the mini. I guess the mock-up didn't look as good. But 86 colors, even though it really doesn't look like it. So I don't know if that one will get stitched. Okay, now we're getting to some more colorful ones. This is called Color Fall Unicorn by Sue Klein again. And it's so pretty and colorful. And I also love fall colors, so it's also fall. And that kind of fall color contrasted with like the pastel rainbow and the unicorn is really cool. It is 498 by 638 stitches and 87 colors. It's so strange to me that that's the same amount of colors as that one I just showed you. But yeah, I really like that one. I don't know if it's the sun or the moon behind, but I'm gonna just call it the moon because I like the moon. But yeah, I really do love the colors in that one. Now my daughter's getting more into unicorns, so we'll see. Maybe I'll stitch that for her one day. Okay, this one is called Dragon Cosmico by Cirello. Sorry, Cabral. And this one's just really cool looking. The colors, the contrast. It is 700 by 550 stitches and 87 colors. But I love the night sky. I love, love, love space. And I just love the effect. It looks really cool. And that boat actually reminds me of like a Viking ship. And well, a mix between a Viking ship and also here in Norway, where I'm living, they have those kind of dragon heads on some of the old houses, the red kind of architecture. They actually have dragon heads like on the edges. So that's kind of cool. And then I love how she's looking all like flowy and kind of mystical. And what is that? She's got like a earth. I think that might be the earth in between her hands. And then of course like the lights coming off the dragon. Super cool. I can tell my arms are gonna get really tired doing this. Okay, next one, we're on F now. Fireflies and Grandparents by Vincent Fleming. I really love his artwork. And this one, I just love the scene. Of course, if you've seen my channel, you know I love houses, stitching houses, and the moon. So, had to get this one. It's 625 by 519, 90 colors. Yeah, I just love it. The fireflies, the little family. It just reminds me of like a summer evening when you can stay outside later and when you're a little kid. Next one is Foxglove Ball Max Color by Amy Stewart. Oh God, what was I thinking? Some of these I'm like, what was I thinking when I got this type? Yeah, so anyway, it is 625 by 833 stitches and 237 colors. And look, it's a giant tree. What am I thinking? More trees. But I love Lord of the Rings, and they have like that, you know, the scene in the woods and the elves live in the trees, so it kind of reminded me of that. But I like the colors. It's just a lot of stitching to get to the colors. And I like the waterfall. I don't know if I'll be starting that one though, just because, you know, lots of trees and dark colors before you actually get to the main part that I want to stitch. Oh, next one is a good one. It is another Supersize by Amy Stewart. And it is the Grand Library. I'm sure you've seen a lot of this lately if you're on Instagram or Flosstube. Obviously you're on Flosstube. but it is $9.99 by 716 stitches, and I got the regular color, 90 colors, because I looked at all the mock-ups and compared them, and I actually liked this one better, just the 90 colors, so that works for me. Now, my plan originally was to start this at the end of the year because I have both my birthday and Christmas, so I get more money and gifts to spend. But I don't know. Now I'm not sure. There might be another bookshelf that I want to do instead. Because, I mean, I love it, but at the same time, I think what I love most about it are some of the, like, more fantasy sections. And I might just do Once Upon a Fairy Tale instead. Because I think why I didn't want to start that one was just because I've seen it so many times. But then I'm like, this is a lot of time and commitment and investment. You need to, like, love it, all of it. So, I mean, I do love this one, and I do want to start it. I just don't know if it'll be the next one I start. We'll see. All right, next is Idyllic World Max Color. And the reason I picked a lot of the ones I did is just because I looked and compared the mock-ups and just went with what I liked the best. So this one is 700 by 451 stitches and 236 colors. But I love this image. The colors, I love just what do you call it? I don't know, abstract, like just the strangeness of it, how the world's like turning upside down. And then you have like super detailed, I think the reason I got this actually in Max Color was because if you can see it, like there's houses and village like up here, and it just stood out, like you could see it so much more sharp with the Max Color version. And then the little girl and the red popping out, I just love that. Okay, we have another Josephine Wall, Key to Eternity. And when I first look at this one, I'm like, but then when I look at it closer, I really like it. Yeah, so it has, I think the reason I don't like it is just the big face here. I don't know. I think it could be smaller, but it just reminds me of kind of like an opening to spirit, like your spiritual self. And it has like the Stonehenge in here, and I think his head, what is on, I don't know, his or her head, it's like, I don't know, turning to clouds. I don't know, maybe their head is up in the clouds like mine can be. And then this pretty rainbow shooting star, the key in the heart. I like that, like symbolism, like the key is in your heart, the key to eternity is in your heart. And then I love the flowers and the poofy thing here. I love owls, so I like that. I don't really know what's in the middle right there, but yeah, so there are things I like and some that I don't like on this, but overall I like it. Oh, and what is it? It is 450 by 566 stitches. Again, it doesn't say the number of colors. Okay. Another mini and another Amy Stewart. It is Mini Little Blue. I think they only have this one in a mini, but I just love the colors and just how it's something different, like girl hanging in a spider web or fairy hanging in a spider web. It's 325 by 210 stitches and 89 colors. And I'm really curious about the background in that, because if you notice, it's like blurred in the background. Some of the flowers. So I'm really curious how that's going to come out and come across in stitches. Okay, next one is Little Girl Walking Upstairs by... Oh, what? Oh, does it not have an artist? I don't see an artist, but it's, yeah. Now I know this one is another one. At first I was like, I don't know, because of all the blue, just kind of solid plain background, which I guess you could use another fabric or something. But I love how she's walking up books to get to another world, like a magical fantasy world. That also reminds me of when I was younger, because I would have this dream that in my closet there was like a door to a fantasy world with unicorns, and I thought it was so real. Like, it felt so real. So I would like try to go in my closet to get to that world. But yeah, and then it has like, she's walking into a book, really, so. But yeah, it's just, yeah, nice with the little, I like the detail of that butterfly like charm right there. Oh, what is it? It is oh, it's big. 550 by 687 stitches and 88 colors. Okay, next one is by Selena Fenech, Magic Moonlight. And I really, really, really love this one. And it's not that big. It's a lot of dark and trees again, but I just love, love, love the colors on this, like the contrast of the golds and yellows with the forest and the moon and those firefly things or sparkles. I love that. And I love the details in the fairies. I really like fairies. You'll see actually I stitched, this one was a dimensions kit. But it is 400 by 281 stitches. And how many colors? Oh, again, it doesn't say the colors. But oh, I think I might start this one sometime soon. I love it. It's not that big. Okay, next one is by Scott Gustafson, Maiden and the Unicorn. Hey, we're on M. Does that mean we're halfway through? I love the colors in this one and just the whole scene. The fantasy scene, the unicorn. And again, I have a lot of like images like this, I guess, where it's dark on one side and it becomes light. That's a theme. But yeah, I really, really love this one. There's again an owl coming in here. What else? There's a lot of details that are hard to see, I think, on camera, but there's even a wolf right here. So it's kind of the darker parts coming into the lighter parts. There's bunny rabbits right here. There's, I don't know, what do you call those, pipers? One of those. I don't really know what that guy is. It looks like a troll, actually, with a horn riding a reindeer. That's pretty Norwegian. And then there's a dove and then some kind of guy up there. So there's a lot in here. I really like that one. Okay, next is Mediterranean Evening by Dominic Davison. And this one reminds me of my honeymoon. We went to Italy, France, and Spain, and we weren't really at, we didn't really see the Mediterranean or anything, but it just still reminds me of it with the cafes, bistros. And this also, I like all the details in there. I mean, I love the feeling of just like being in a little cozy place and sitting outside with something to eat and a glass of wine. It's just such a relaxing feeling. So, and I also like the contrast of, again, like the sea and the colors in the background. So it gives something a little different than just all that same thing. Oh, what is it? It is 625 by 446 stitches and 89 colors. Next is another Josephine Wall, Ocean of Dreams. I love the colors in this one. And I like, again, it has the night sky and the space, like stars, that I really like. And that kind of is also in the ocean. Like if you see in the bottom of the water, that's stars in there and stuff. So it's like reflecting, or it's just like, you know, more space down there in the ocean. Which is kind of cool because we actually know more about space than we do about the ocean. But yeah, I like, again, there's so much detail in this, along with all the colors. There's this lady with her ship and all that stuff in there, and then there's this lady with, what is she doing? She's kind of up in the sky. One's in this ocean and one's in the sky. I don't even know. I'm not going to go through all the details in there, but yeah, I really like that one. Another one, I actually got this in the sale this weekend, because again, I might want to start this one soon. Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart. You've seen it thousands of times. But I really do love it. And you gotta stitch what I love, right? And this is the regular, yeah, just the regular size, regular colors, but it's still 750 by 536 stitches and 91 colors. And again, for this one, I compared all of the mock-ups, and this is just the one I liked the best. Yeah, so I don't know what I'll be starting. Maybe I like this so much because the moon's like smack in the middle. So we will see. Stay tuned to find out what I start. Another one of The Path to Another World by Tatiana Haustova. And this one I just absolutely love too. And it reminds me of Idyllic World a little bit in the like curved earth. But loving the colors, love the big planet in the background. The contrast of like the blues and then those like warmer, bright colors, I think I just really love. And it looks like she's going through like a gate, or well, obviously it's a path to another world. So that's what she's doing. And I love the poppies and the flowers. That's just really cool looking. It is 625 by 367 stitches, 90 colors. We're on S now. No, we're not. We're on P still. Sorry, that was the artist. Another one by Sue Klein, The Perfect Sleep. I think I really love the colors that Sue Klein does. And again, this reminds me of like that magical world that I like thought I had in my closet when I was little. And she's like sleeping, and maybe this is her dream. But it's got fairies, pastel colors, the unicorns, a Pegasus. You know, it's just really cool. And I like the effect. It's like a painting almost. Let's see if I can go in. It's hard to get all the details in, like just on camera, but I do want to stitch that one someday. Love that. Okay. Next one, A Place of Her Own by James C. Christensen. I know quite a few people have this one on the go, and it, you know, I was one of those ones who would curl up in my room and everyone else playing outside. I'm like, no, I want to read. And then it became, no, I want to stitch. But yeah, this I can definitely relate to. Lots of books. And now another big reason why I like this pattern is because this tapestry in the back of that unicorn painting, or I guess it's a painting, but you know, like I forget what it's called exactly, but I had wanted to stitch this as like a pattern by itself, and I was looking around at like, I just didn't find one that I really wanted to do. But this one is like, okay, you like stitching two patterns in one because you have that you're actually going to stitch along with everything else. And I also like the details of the oriental rug. It looks like one my grandmother had. So yeah, and then it's also got a map and just music. I used to play the piano. Like a music sheet over here and this like map over here. So just really cool. Okay, this next one I bought because they were going to be retired from Heaven and Earth Designs, Dakota Detweiler. And I was like, all right, well then I have an excuse to buy something. And it's Sanctuary. At first, again, I was like, well, that's a lot of like blank space in the middle kind of background. But as I looked at it more and more, it has a lot of detail that I really like. So obviously it has the rainbow. It has this bridge going across the top. And then in the water, those little duckies. It's so cute. And it's got like this, I don't know, this lighting from the tree. And then over here we have, oh yeah, there's even a little girl in here holding like a lantern. That's her sanctuary. And a bunny rabbit, butterflies, obviously flowers. So that one is pretty. And yeah. And she is with Charting Creations now. I don't know if they have charted that or if they will or not. The next one I had to get, it is the Stitching Moon. That's my channel. I have to have this one. I don't have to stitch it someday. But it's a mini Stitching Moon. I mean, come on. Me stitching on a moon. But yeah, it is Amy Stewart. 225 by 354 stitches, 89 colors. But if you look, oh, I just like the reflection of the water, the moon, those stars. Super cute. I'll have to have that one, and like when I finish it, hang it up like behind me as I do these stitching. All right, next is another bookshelf by Amy Stewart. Again, I don't know what I was thinking. Another super size. Oh my god, it's a super size Animax color. What was I doing? I think, again, because I just liked this one the best when I looked at all the mock-ups. But it is the US Travel Shelf. Super size max color. And I wanted this one just because now that I'm living in Norway and I'm from the US, I just thought it would be nice to have something like this to not remind me, I mean, I know where I come from, but just to like remind me of home. Something to, as I stitch on it, you know, it can be kind of reminiscent. And I've lived in a couple different areas, so, but I don't know, I would have to, well, I don't know where I would start. Oh, I might have to start in this bottom corner because I'm from New England and that's where New England is. And if I do my normal stitching, like diagonally across this way, I mean, that would be the absolute last thing that I get to. But again, I don't know, I probably will still start up here because it's just how I like to stitch. So yeah. But I like how there's a lot of detail that came out in the super size max color. So all the words, but each little section, you could really see a lot of those details, where I think some of them got lost in the regular size and regular color. So it really just depends on the design for me as far as like what I think looks better. Okay, this one is Quiet Town by Leonid Afremov. Oh, love those colors. Of course, like he has the best colors in his artwork. And this reminds me of the village in Norway I'm living in now, except this is way, 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 way more crowded. So if you think of this like with just a few houses and buildings, that's kind of where I live. I mean, there's only like 800 people in our village. So, yeah. But this one, again, the colors, oh, the reflections. Again, it's a lot of houses to stitch. Keep me happy. It's 625 by 420 stitches and 88 colors. And I've seen this stitched up by people and it looks amazing. Getting there, we're on V now. So this is a quick stitch, my only quick stitch, Violetta by Della, oh gosh, I don't even know if that's a G or a C. Della Grottaglia Maldonado. Sounds Italian, but this is Violetta. And I just love, I don't know, the sentiment or the image of this. The original one it's basically the same, it's just a lot more background, so I didn't want to do all that. So this is basically just a crop of the bigger one, and it kind of cuts off a little bit the wing, which I think is really cool. It's like leaves for wings. But yeah, it's got a little dragonfly down here, the lily pads. I just really like that one. She is super pale though, but yeah, that's kind of like me too. I mean, look. Okay, this one is another one I was like, what am I doing to myself? It's another Dominic Davison, and it's super size Window with a View. I do love this one, but now I'm like, why did I get super size? Do you know how much white and how much curtain I'm going to be stitching before I get to anything? But again, I must have just liked this better. And also, I think at the time I had an idea that this would be really cool framed on a wall, like pretending it's your window. But again, I love the house in the background. I love the book. I love the coffee on the windowsill. It's just so cozy. Like if you were sitting there reading or stitching and having coffee and just looking out the view, that could be like where I actually like if I ever finish it, have it in a little wall. I'll sit like by my coffee there and just pretend it's a window. Really big enough. It is 999 by 645 stitches and 86 colors. Yeah. But it is super pretty. Okay, now I'll get to a mini. It is Wishing Tree by Jeremiah Kettner. He's a little one. I'll need some of those, but again, love the owls. And the colors and just like the artwork. It is 258 by 325 stitches and 87 colors. So yeah, again a tree. What am I doing to myself? Trees. Now my hands are getting like shaky, sorry. Okay, almost at the end. This one is Zodiac 1 by Ciro Machete. And if you know or have seen my channel, you know that I like astrology. I did a couple videos on that around the Nora Corbett Zodiac girls. But this one obviously is the Zodiac, so it has all the animals or symbols represented by their symbols. Now I'm not a huge fan of the colors in it, but I did really like the details of each of the symbols, of each like the animals and the other things. And I like how it has the planets in the middle around it, because the planets are super important too. And a lot of the art kind of forgets about them, so I did really like that. It is 396 by 546 stitches and doesn't say the colors. Yeah. All right, another okay, I think this is my last one. It is, okay, but it's actually not one, it's 12. So, I told you that I had my reward system for doing different habits or whatever, and I would just randomly pick whatever was on my wish list. And I did this on sale. Like I would actually buy them on the sale whenever they had a sale. So I would kind of save up my rewards and just buy them when there was a sale. But one of them that I had on my wish list was a collection, Josephine Wall, Zodiac, and there were 12 giant full-size patterns. And I'm like, well, it landed on that one, so I gotta buy it. And each one of these is a whole different full coverage pattern. But, I'm obviously not going to ever stitch all of them, but it's cool to have the collection. I really like series and collection of things, and I can stitch out, just pick the ones I want to stitch, maybe the ones, the signs of people in my family, which are Scorpio, that's mine, and there's, my husband is Capricorn, which, is this in order? This isn't in order. Let's see if I can pick it out. Oh yeah, the sea goat right there. Capricorn. And my daughter is Pisces, which is got to be, yeah, is that, yeah, fish? It's gotta be that one, I'm guessing, with the fish. Am I pointing to the right one? No, this one. She's a little fishy. So yeah, we'll see. At one point I had a crazy idea that I don't think will happen, but I was like, ooh, maybe on like, I have a few years, but maybe on like my 40th birthday, I can like start a new one each month and be crazy, but I don't know that that's gonna happen. Probably not. Now, we got through my HAEDs. Way to stick it out this long. Next, we have more full coverages by different companies. So, Just gonna kind of like situate these. Oh my god, this is insane. I have to live so many lifetimes. Yeah. Next we have Thread Geeks. And I have this one. Oh, I love this one. Home at Last it's called, and it's by Shauna Airback. Oh, I think that is so cool. I like her artwork a lot. Little girl with the moon and a zebra tree. And I love the tones, the colors. I mean, it'd be a lot of stitching of the same colors, but it's so cool. I love it. And it's 324 by 270 stitches on, yeah. So it's actually, it doesn't say the colors, but it's not as big. It's kind of like a mini, I think, of HAEDs. So, you know. So then we have another by the same artist, To Love and Be Loved. Zebra. I like how it just has a pop of color in a heart at the bottom. And that same little girl looking up at a zebra. Lots and lots of black, but again, be really cool when it's finished. It's a little bigger. It's 360 by 432 stitches. Okay, next also from Thread Geeks is A Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship. I believe they're retiring this artist. It is by Sagittarius Gallery, and they have a lot of patterns that have, you know, this design in them. And this one is 432 by 432 stitches. All right, next is, oh, okay, the same company, Sagittarius Gallery, and it is called Starry Halloween. Love the colors. And I love fall, I love Halloween, and this just captures that, just that really fall feeling. Like I feel like the leaves are falling off the trees, and the pumpkins, the jack-o'-lantern, the moon, the witch. I like that one. And it's 288 by 360 stitches, so it's not that bad. I think they have a smaller version too, if they're even still selling it. Okay, next one is Orenco Originals. And this one was like, I think, Black Friday sale last year, and I just kind of went crazy, even though I'm not like, probably not going to stitch them. But they're by famous artists. This one's by Edvard Munch, and it is called A Spring Landscape. It is 196 by 154 stitches, so it's not that bad. Relatively small. Next one is Van Gogh, The Alps. That one's really cool. I think I would stitch this one before the other one. And it is called, or no, it is 196 by 168, so again, not that bad. Oh, this one is not full coverage, but same company, and it's 112 by 140 stitches, and it's Peter Rabbit Eats Carrots. I had, you know, I read the little Peter Rabbit and Beatrix Potter books when I was younger, and I think this was the scene almost exactly from one of the little books I had, so, you know, that brought back memories. Super cute. I could stitch that for my daughter. And it's pretty small. I actually think I have fabric that might be able to go on. All right, now we have the Cross Stitch Studio. Oh, this is another gigantic one. It's actually like a super size. Again, what was I thinking? 133 colors, 979 by 737 stitches. Who's it by? Does it say? Okay, it doesn't say on it. Oh, yeah, it's called Fairy Tale Cottage. Fairy Tale Cottage. But I love the house. It does remind me of a fairy tale setting, story, the horse, carriage. a little canoe and swans and pumpkins and mountains. Cozy, but it's so big. And another one by the Cross Stitch Studio that's so big. I probably won't stitch this one, especially because I have the other Halloween one. Spooky Halloween, 97 colors, 869 by 649 stitches. And it's very dark. I do like Halloween, but I probably won't do this one because I like Starry Halloween better and it's a lot smaller. And this would just be a lot of dark. But I love the jack-o'-lanterns. I do like that like haunted house and the moon and the witch. There's like ghosts dancing in the background. So that is cool. Oh boy. Okay, done my full coverage. Well, almost. But now we're moving on to Etsy shop and Miscellaneous. Not just Etsy, Miscellaneous, we'll say. So let's get into that. The first one is a stitch along, and I haven't started it yet, and it's already almost the end of the year, but you know, I'm not obviously going to follow along with it, but it is a tarot stitch along, and it's a mystery stitch along, so don't have all the things filled out yet. I just have through September on here. And I have, yeah, a really cool fabric for it. But basically they release 2 cards each month. It's from Witch's Garden Crafts, who has an Etsy shop, but I think this was on a separate site. But she also sells the fabric specifically for this, like different types you can choose already in the size. But I was hesitant about this because I wasn't so sure about the colors, like the jewel tones with the tarot. However, I noticed when you download the patterns, at first it loads slow. So it loads little by little, but it does it without the back stitching first. And when I see it without the back stitching, I'm like, oh no, I like that. I think it's the back stitch that I am not a big fan of. So I don't know, I might just see, I'll stitch it without back stitch first, see how I like it, and then go from there. So yeah. And okay, next is a long dog sampler. Fairly new. I think it's a new pattern as well. It's called Ragnarok. And Ragnarok is like the mythical Norse mythology place. Or is it the battle? I need to brush up on my Norse mythology. But it says up here, hope is the last thing ever lost. And this one on the website has so much about the mythology and what's shown in this image and why, which is really cool. If you're into Norse mythology at all, go check that out. And like I read a little bit about Norse mythology, and it's one of the most violent, gory things I've ever read. But they have this tree here representing the tree of life, kind of, which is hopeful, and that's where the hope I think comes in, because they are hopeful, but it's also like there's a squirrel in here. You can see, where is it? It's very tiny and I lost where it was, but it is in here. Oh, we're here. That little tiny squirrel. In the mythology, I think it's the squirrel that runs up and down to the roots of the tree and all the way back up, and it's like gnawing on the tree, and it's supposed to be it's like constantly in pain and agony over and over, but it's also hopeful. And I don't know, it's interesting. But there's also like red herrings in here meant to mislead you, like things that have nothing to do with the pattern, because one of the gods also is kind of tricky like that. So it even says, I'm not sure exactly which one it is yet, but it says that a motif and like characters from another long dog like wandered their way into this one. But yeah, that'll be my first long dog. So I do want to start this. I'm thinking next May, when they have their Norway has their Independence Day. Okay. Oh my god, my like throat is hurting from all this talking. All right, we're still under an hour though. Now this one was a pattern, just a little pattern that I got because it was like a, well, one, it's Lord of the Rings, but also it was like a donation type thing that went to charity. Who's it by? Darling and Whimsy Designs on Etsy, and it says 100% of the proceeds will directly support the coalition to stop violence against Native women. And I don't know if it's still going on now or if the donation is still there, but you can definitely check. Now this whole thing isn't the pattern, it's just this right here. I don't know if you can read it, but it's part of my favorite speech from Lord of the Rings by Sam. And at the end it says, "There's some good in this world and it's worth fighting for." So I thought that would be a cute little quick stitch for a good cause. So if it is there, definitely go ahead and get this if you like Lord of the Rings. Okay, now other Etsy patterns we're going into. This one was a Ukrainian designer that I got to help support Ukrainian designers. It is called Bees on Thistle, and it's by Passion Cross Stitch. I love this one. Love that one. The colors, the bees, the flowers. Oh, so pretty. This next one, another Ukrainian designer from Danis Pattern, the world map. And this one, it was so cute. I thought of stitching this for my daughter's room. All the animals and things from different parts of the world. This one, I recently saw these. There's two of them that really remind me of Norway, and I really like the artwork. This one's actually Iceland, but it could definitely be Norway. They have the red houses like that, the fjord, the mountains. Definitely could be Norway. And who's it by? It is AK Stitch. They also sell these in kits, and I'll show you the other one. It's called Silence, and this one is supposed to be in Norway. So I would want to stitch these, put them up together. I like them a lot. Okay, I got this next one a while ago from, I think it's Light Unicorn Designs. It doesn't say on it. And I got it originally, and yeah, I will do this someday, but it was for my friend whose father passed away unexpectedly in a motorcycle accident. And the last thing they did together was spend a day at a fair that had balloons, like hot air balloons. So I want to do this for her. It'll take a while though, but and obviously I love the colors. Super pretty, but I think I would do it on a lower count fabric. You know, these are all for like 14 count, but 18 count I think would be good. Another one, oh, it doesn't say where it's from, but another really cute one that I could do for my daughter. Little elephant blowing bubbles. And this next one, I believe, is from 2x2 X Stitch or Cross Stitch, another Ukrainian designer. I got a lot of these, but some of them don't have the cover pages. This one for some reason did, but other ones didn't. But just a nice, cool design. What I've wanted to, I got a bunch of these actually because I'm a little weird, but I think it would be cool to, and kind of crazy, I might be out of my mind, but to like do something like this where you randomly pick colors as you go along, like totally random. So it could be anything, and you just kind of like fill it in, and you no idea how it's going to turn out. But I want to do that someday. Okay, this one is another Ukrainian designer from Awesome Pattern Studio, and they have all different places and cities. Boston, I got places where I lived. So I lived in Boston for a year doing an internship. And actually this building, the H building, was the Federal Reserve. My mom worked there. And you have the Prudential Center, I'm pretty sure. Or no, unless that's, no, this one over here. That's where my internship was actually. It was Mass General Hospital. It's got the little like stairs on the top. So it was cool. I can like look at it and see where we were. And it's got, this is like the famous bridge, or I don't know if it's famous, but the iconic bridge going into Boston. And then like they have concerts and stuff at this stage here. You got the Charles River, you know, the dirty water of the Charles River. It's bad. Like, the Charles River is like known for being really dirty, or it was. It's probably better now, but there's, you know, the song Dirty Water about it. But also my roommate in college was from right outside of Boston, and the river was right there. She said in the spring, like they could tell it was spring when the water melted down the rivers and dead bodies would float up sometimes. I was like, what? Where do you live? Like, but that's apparently that's the Charles River. Interesting story. But the other one is totally opposite. It's from Orlando, because my husband and I lived in Orlando for, well, we lived there twice. We've lived everywhere together twice. It's really strange. But this one, they have two Orlando patterns. One is a little more of like the Disney area and amusement park area, but we lived more close to this part, which was a whole different part of the city. And this fountain is Lake Eola. I mean, it's really a pond to me, but you walk around and there's swan boats. There's actual swans in it. And it's really, really nice. You can walk around the whole thing and it's just so peaceful, and the city's there, but you're in nature. So, and it had all these big, big cool trees that I loved in Florida. So, yeah. Okay, next is, I think these are the last. Yep. Okay, now we're getting into, because it's Etsy, my own designs from my Etsy shop. And I have a new one, a brand new one I'm gonna like show you for the first time now. But yeah, I have started making patterns now in spring or early summer. I opened my Etsy shop, so I make full coverage patterns, and most of them are from photos that I took here in Norway, and then like modified and edited the pictures and made them into a pattern. And now I'm starting to do some other types of pictures, and I have some art that I want to do as well from other people. So yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be maybe slow coming, but stay tuned for that. I'll put my shop below, so if you follow it, you can get notified like whenever something new comes up. But this one, if you like flamingos, be on the lookout. This was a picture that my sister took, and I got her permission to chart it. Her name's Emily, so that's up there. But yeah, she just like took this picture, and I was like, wow, that's an awesome picture. So I charted it, but now I know the background looks like a ton of confetti. And while there is confetti, what I do for my patterns is go through color by color and take out like as many ninja stitches as I can, and go through and I take out colors where it's not taking away from the design. So in this one, like the flamingos stay the same, and some of the background, I take out some of the extra colors that really don't make a difference in being there. So this one's actually 58 colors, and it's 350 by 396 stitches. So I try and make it as easy to stitch as possible without losing the detail. So that one should be up soon. Okay, the next one is called Beautiful Simplicity. And I took this outside of, in the fjords of near Bergen, on a little fjord cruise. Oh, I should tell you the amount and size and all that stuff, right? So it's 69 colors, 550 by 412 stitches. This one is called Home Sweet Home. And it is in my town now, my village. And so this is one of the houses that I talked about earlier with the dragon things. Like, you can't really tell, but like these coming off of here are actually like dragon heads. So it's one of the old style buildings. But I love this color of the sky here, and the pops of the reds. Next one is Dawn in the Valley. Oh, and I printed out the wrong one because I no longer have the large size. I just have the regular size. So it's not going to be this big now. I think it's still 69 colors though. But this one, this picture I took outside of a hotel, the view into the valley that is close to a World Heritage Site. Oh, apparently I printed out the regular one too, which is here. So that one is, the regular size is right here, and it is 500 by 375 stitches and 69 colors. Next one, okay, I'll show you, let me get to the companion piece of that one. Valley of the Trolls, the same scene, different style. And the reason I called it Valley of the Trolls is because this mountain looks like a troll's face, a cut off troll's face, but like the eye, nose, mouth. And Norway loves their trolls. They have so many stories and statues around trolls and gifts and things. But I love the colors in this one. It is 500 by 375 stitches and 69 colors. This one is called Doll in the Grass. And it is of my daughter when she was about 1 year old. And I took it from my window out in like our little walkway. And it was just, I don't know, just how she's sitting there peacefully and the grasses and flowers all around her. This one took some time because there is confetti, but I tried to make it less confetti when I designed it. And it's 325 by 291 stitches and 69 colors. Still, my daughter loves wearing hats. And this one is the Spirit of Bergen. And it's different because it's not just a rectangle, it's paint strokes. So I really love that. I want to see, I'm stitching one of my designs right now, but not this one, but I really want to see someone stitch it because I love that design. Maybe that'll be the next one of my own that I stitch. But this is in downtown Bergen. This building right here used to be the old newspaper building. And it's the center of the square. There's a lot of shopping and restaurants down there. I really like how these like lights, the balls of lights in the restaurant come out. And it was raining, so people have umbrellas. It's like always raining in Bergen. And what else was I gonna say about it? Yeah, I took this when I would think it was on my baby shower. We were in Bergen, and I just took it like waiting for someone inside a store. It is 553 by 424 stitches and 69 colors. I did have a max color on my shop now, but I kind of took off my max color in larger patterns because I have to kind of narrow it down. I mean, Etsy charges fees for everything you list, so had to kind of narrow it down, and yeah. So this one is Standing Tall. Really cool colors in that one. Birch trees. And it's 475 by 344 stitches and 68 colors. I took that not too far away from where I live. This one, the last pattern, guys. It's called Over Flom. And Flom is a very popular tourist destination. You can see why. This even has a cruise ship coming in down there. This is on a hike you can take if you go to Flom. On the hike right over here, there's like a big waterfall. But the colors are amazing because it really is like that green. And the mountains and the water, it's just really pretty. And in Flom, they also have one like a famous world train ride that you take all the way up through the mountains. It's really pretty. And this is, it's long. This one's long, 700 by 315 stitches. So it's not very high. And 98 colors. Oh, okay, I'm like tired after all that. But yeah, we made it. We made it through almost all of my PDF. Again, I have some that don't have the cover pages, But thank you guys for staying with me. If you like pattern parades and chart parades, then you can also check out Stuki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher. She recently did a pattern parade of also full coverage patterns. So you can go check out her. I think that's all. I think I'm done all my parades for a while. So yay! And thank you guys for hanging in there and watching and commenting and liking, subscribing. And I will be back soon with, well, I don't know how soon, but hopefully soon with a regular Flosstube update because that's been a while. So I'm gonna have a lot to show then, so I can't wait too long. But yeah, I hope to see you guys then. And yeah, I think it might still be Labor Day when I post this in the US. So from the US, have a happy Labor Day, and I will see you soon. Bye.